We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Senator Daggett.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to roll call. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett, Frank,
Here.
Daggett, Comfort, Dooley, Garcia,
Here.
Gibney unexcused, Hofer, Jensen, Sampson, Pulse, Robbins,
Here.
Shell, Schmeck,
Here.
Sierra, Spear,
Here.
Sternhagen,
Here.
Tennant,
Here.
Vasquez, Wessler, Wisser, Communications Chair Fink, Finance Chair Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Chief of Staff Sabo here, Vice President Bentz, President Peterson, AFA, AISA, BSA unexcused, GSA,
Here.
LASA,
Here.
IRC unexcused, Unified Council,
Here.
UPC, Advisor Schmidt,
Here.
Advisor Grief.
Here.
Madam President, we have a quorum.
Moving on to adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda tonight? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Daggett. All those in favor of adopting the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The agenda is adopted. Moving on to approval of the minutes. Are there any edits to the minutes tonight? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Shell. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye. All opposed? The minutes are approved. Moving down our agenda, we have quite the open forum stack tonight. We'll begin with item A and welcome up Justin Sell, the Director of Athletics.
Well, thanks a bunch. It's always a pleasure. Most falls I get a chance to start with this group, and I'm in my 16th year at SDSU. I've worked with many of you on a lot of different things over the years, and I'm always impressed by the students we have here at SDSU. I think it's also important to note I have three of my four kids, my three boys, went to school here at SDSU. They all got undergrad degrees. I have one that got a master's here and one that's finishing his second year of a master's in math. So I say that because I also view this from a dad's point of view. So my experience isn't just related to being an athletic director. I've lived it in terms of supporting students in my house here at the university. I also say that because in my 16 years here, I don't know that I've ever been more excited about a fall. When you look at record enrollment, you look at one day for state and all the great things that came out of that. When you think about all the things that our folks in engineering are doing, business economics and the investment groups, you go across literally every college we have and students are performing at such a high level. And I'm just so impressed. I'm so pleased, but I'm also excited because that energy and momentum's real. And when you look in athletics, the first two football games, we had over 4,000 students, which is a record. We're geared up to really sell out the next two games, and the last two are starting to trend to selling out. And you're a big piece of that. You're a big reason why we win. I think we won, 20 straight games at home, and it's because of students. So I thank you. I thank you for your service in this deal, putting in extra time and trying to take on leadership. Look, leadership's really hard today. Leadership's hard all across the board, and there's so many things that are pulling us in so many different directions. And you holding us together and helping move things forward so we understand what students are looking for, and that we can plan for that, and not only manage today, but can we do it down the road? And I would just say that I think the theme for me at SDSU and one I've been trying to carry this year is, one, we need to win today. Stay focused on what we need to do to win today. And then secondly, our strength is in the fact that we all invest in others. And so if you take that time, and you're all doing that here by the work and the groups you're representing, continue to invest in others. The sky's the limit for SDSU if we do those things. So I'll get off my soapbox. I know you wanted me to talk a little bit about the arena project, and then I'm certainly glad to answer any questions you might have. We have an open house this Friday night from 5 to 7. So I hope a lot of students can come out and check it out. We did an open house really to give everybody a little bit of a behind the scenes look at all of the pieces of the arena. So you can go through the athletic training rooms, the student athletes locker rooms and lounges, practice gyms, the suites, all the different levels of the building. Really excited about the project. The challenge with it really was, first off, it's a tough building to renovate because the top and bottom levels didn't work great together, but I think we've accomplished it in a really cool way. And then secondly, balancing the history. Anytime you change the name of a building, it's always a challenge to make sure you respect your history and tradition while you modernize it. So building's 50 years old, we needed to do some things. And First Bank and Trust was a great partner in giving a lead gift to help make sure that we could have a great arena for the next 40 years as well. So with that perspective, a couple highlights. And to do that, when you walk in the main entrance, and you can walk in the southeast corner, which is where all the big parking lots are, or you can come in from the student side, the southwest entrance. The grand piece of this whole thing is down the south concourse. We basically took all the pieces of the floor and we built them in 4x4 squares and put them up on the wall. And so in between there's pictures of all the historical events in our past. There's pictures of the pep band, there's pictures of our cheer squad, there's pictures of all kinds of things that have taken place in the building. It's not just an athletics building, it's been a university building. And so trying to capture that history and the tradition that we have while we modernize it was really important to us and really important to First Bank and Trust. So when you walk in, you're going to see that. You're going to see a lot of spaces that have the old bleacher boards from the pull-out bleachers. We've used that as trim around a bunch of the arena parts. When you go into some of the lounges, the ceilings have a lot of those slats, and so a lot of those pieces have been incorporated into the building. But on the cool side, the center hung scoreboard from Daktronics is absolutely incredible. We have ribbon boards, which we've never had before. The sound system, we put a lot of money into that because the old sound system was frankly crummy. And so this one, you'll be able to actually hear, but it'll be loud. The place will be pumping and rocking on game day. It'll be really fun. And then the lighting system, we can do all kinds of things with turning the lights off, team introductions, we can make them yellow and blue, we can do all kinds of things with it. So I think from a game day experience, it's gonna be totally different. The seating is much steeper and it's on top of the court. So I think from a home court advantage, it's only gonna get louder. We've had a tremendous record at home for many, many years. I don't think that's going anywhere with this design. And then lastly, from a student perspective, and we have suites and we have a club room and we have a lot of premium spaces because those, like in the stadium, help us fund the things we need to do. So we're not back here asking for student fees or asking the university for more support. We're trying to do it on our own. And doing that, you have to have those spaces. We talk about those. We also want to make sure that people can get in the building, whether it's families, whether we do military discounts, things for our faculty, staff. We want to have prices that are the same as what they were today in the new arena. So it's accessible to all kinds of people. So we get caught up in the expensive stuff, but we have everything. And there isn't a bad seat in the place. From a student perspective, I think that's what I'm most excited about. We've certainly worked with students in the design process. We've got 1,000 seats, so about 20% of the entire building is for students. So my challenge is we need you there. We got to fill it up. There's 30 basketball games, there's a dozen volleyball matches, and probably 9 wrestling matches. We need students there. And we built it big so we could fill it, and you make a difference for us. Uniquely, I don't know that anywhere else in the country has done this, we have a club room for students built into that with a party deck up top. So the opportunity to do some different things, to work with you as things change, as you want to recognize certain groups, if you want to have a meeting over there on a non-game night, we'll work with you. Let's get you in the building and use it. I think that's one of the trademarks for us is a lot of schools do student fees and just base it on attendance. We've got a memorandum of understanding that I think has 14 items on it. We probably in reality do 25 things, and we want to continue to do that. I don't think having a student fee tied to the things that we do should really work in that. We should be working to get you involved and to help regardless, and we will continue to do that. I think this arena gives us a chance to expand on a lot of those things. So the Pep band will be in the student section, much like it is at the football stadium. But things will be really geared around your entrance. We'll have a big Daktronics board when you walk in. You'll know right away that you're coming into the student area. And I think our fans are going to love it, but I hope you as students take advantage of that, fill it. But you are a really important part of the design. So I want to make sure that was clear. With that, I probably, I could talk to you for a long time, but I know you got a long agenda. I want to get out of here. Be glad to answer any questions.
Do you have any inputs or developments student-facing scoreboard at the football arena? So the ones that the students could see.
Yeah, so we're currently working on a project and it's kind of going through the process on that north building. And there's some things we need to do from an academic center space, as well as the football locker room. Probably, we've outgrown it. And the equipment room is actually on the other side of the circle, which is where trucks pull up to load all the equipment for away games. So we're going to move that to the other end of the building. In that design process, we've got that scoreboard, a more permanent piece to that scoreboard would be part of that design. And so it doesn't make sense to put something up and then have to move it, because we got to kind of know how that piece is going to go together and then where it makes the most sense. In the in-between, obviously we worked with a company to get an option to have the board we currently have. I think it's worked pretty well the first two games. I know last year we had a few issues, but I think it's worked really well. And so we'll do that as long as we don't have the permanent option, but we are working towards the permanent option. And then I would say this, I think we've done somewhere in the neighborhood of $194 million in athletic facilities in 10 years. And it's been donors that have stepped forward. It's been the sales of premium spaces, but we really have worked hard to fund those things and those projects on our own, which hopefully leaves other money to do all these other great projects you see around campus. And they're really important to the student experience, and I fully believe that. In doing that, just like all our other projects, we also need to raise the money. And so we're in the process of all those plans. We're getting donors lined up. We've had some pretty good success, but we got a little ways to go. And so that will be part of that fundraising process. So we're following the same things that we've done in the past to get that project done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you have a time frame for that project, including the locker room and all the other stuff?
I mean, it's, I would say based on, you have to, because the cost of this one, we'll have to go through a board of regents, get a building committee, take it through the board process, and then it'll have to probably go to the state legislature. And my guess is we won't get that in here this fall. So if that's not the case, then probably the earliest the permanent piece would be done would be fall of 26. It'll take, so we'll go through that process, just so everyone knows, you go through it through December, then January through 1st of April is the legislative process. So the earliest you can get a project going is probably, let's say, June 1. And so once we get in, you're talking June 1, and then you have to construct it. And so it'll probably take a year. So I would say realistically, probably the fall of 27, just based on construction timelines.
What is your favorite part of First Bank and Trust Arena?
Man, there's so many pieces to it. I just, I think honestly, it's more about the vision and having a 50-year-old facility that had to be done and being able to put it together, respecting history, which is really important, and then modernizing it in a way that our fans are fantastic. And you know what Frost is when you walk in. And how do we make sure you still feel that familiarity, and yet you come in and you're energized by the experience? And so there's so many parts to that to make that happen. I think it's the anticipation of the first game in there when the place is packed and you hear that fight song come on and the student athletes run around and the hair goes up on the back of your neck. That anticipation is probably what I'm most excited for. I think the south wall, look, I think any building in the state of South Dakota, it will be a signature piece for the entire state of South Dakota. I And we have commencements in there. We have all kinds of other activities, high school tournaments and shows and so many university-related functions that being able to have that piece in there and that history, so many people in the state have a tie to SDSU and have a tie to that building. And I think people are going to be absolutely blown away when you walk down that hallway. The SD logo that was in the middle of the court, I always thought it was pretty small. It's like a jump circle. And it's on the wall and it's like 2.5 stories tall. I mean, it is huge. And all the squares are put in at different depths. So it creates this, there's certainly an artistic feel to it, but when you walk down and you see all the great moments over time, I mean, the emotions that evokes and will in our fans that have been here 30 and 40 and 50 years, current students, I mean, I think people are going to be blown away.
Question? Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you again for joining us, Justin. Appreciate the updates. We'll move on to open forum item B. We're going to welcome up Dr. Flo, and a little bit of background for those of you who don't know. Dr. Flo used to teach at SDSU, and he also used to be a Students Association advisor, and he's here to visit us from Texas. So let's give him a warm welcome.
How do you follow up after that? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna pass some sticky notes. Yes, I call them sticky notes. That way, take one and then we'll go from there. Clap once if you can hear me. All right, clap twice if you can see me. Clap 3 times if you love SA, Students Association. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you, Senator Garcia, for the invitation, President Trinity, and everybody. I'm Dr. Florencio Urias Aranda III. I tell people it's a beautiful, convoluted, hot mess of a name. So everybody here at SDSU knows me as Dr. Flo. I served as an advisor in SA, as well as an advisor for LASA, as well as a full-time employee with the OMAA, as it is now called. So today I just wanted to say happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Feliz mes de la herencia hispana. It's a pleasure to be here. When Oscar was like, hey, do you want to talk to SA? I was like, I do. Today I just wanted to talk to you about leadership. It'll be very quick. So what I want you to do as your sticky note is going around, I want you to think of a leader, and at the top of that, write that leader's name at the top of the sticky. Not too big because you're going to use it more. So you artistic folks, try to keep it small, okay? And I'm going to move around. Is that okay? Or do you want me up here? Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're going to write the leader's name. Whoever it is, they can be alive, they can be dead, it could be your family member, whomever. Give me a leader name, okay? Give me a thumbs up or a Jax, rabbits. I don't know, I'm making it up, right? Give me a little Jax once you're done. All right, that leader name, whoever it is. Okay, how are we doing? Good? All right. So now underneath this leader's name, write 5 words that you would use to describe this leader. Okay, not 5 words that you think Dr. Flo wants of your leader that you know is this leader. Okay, 5 words that you would use to describe this leader. All right. I don't like to hear myself talk. So I'm going to now ask you, anybody wants to share, why did you pick this leader, and give me 1 or 2 words of why you chose said leader. Anybody? We have, anybody want to share out? Yes.
I picked Trinity Peterson. I picked her just because she has done a lot for Students Association, and she stepped up in more ways than one. And do you want me to take all of them?
No, just 2.
Okay, I said she is very kind and benevolent.
Kind and benevolent. I love that. Trinity, you can Venmo her later. I'm sure she said, hey, girl, you better save me, okay? All right, right here, Senator Matthew.
I picked a family mentor. His name is Gene Stevens.
Okay, why Gene?
Gene because he really not only led myself but many young teenagers at the time to the right maybe path for them to guide them on the right way of how they might want to live their own lives. Specifically, grit, sticking through the hard times,
Love that.
as well as perseverance. He showed that through his own life when his wife had early onset dementia, and when she got put in home, he was with her every single day while still maintaining his own home life as well, but still being with her all the time.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. So grit, right? One of benevolent grit. I love that. VP Hayden.
Yeah,
Who was your guy?
Uh,
Person or female or individual?
yeah, my guy was Abraham
I
Lincoln.
love it.
Yeah, I
Give me one or two words, not all five.
think he was very intelligent,
Okay.
he's a very smart man, and then, he also, was very compassionate.
I love that. Intelligent and compassionate. Anyone else want to share out? This is your time to shine, folks. Anybody?
I can share.
Yes.
I chose Eleanor Roosevelt.
Ooh, yes, queen. Okay. Why this queen?
I said because she was genuine and tenacious.
Genuine and tenacious. That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Over here, who had their hand up? Yes, Senator Garcia.
Yeah, I did Ari, our current LASA advisor. I said she's very friendly and always just willing to help out anyone, so.
I love that. Always willing to help out and very friendly. Okay. Fun flow is done. Thank you for sharing. Okay? Now let's get a little real. These are the moments that I say, let's come to Jesus. Let's have our come to Jesus moment, okay? Did you write your own name? Why not? Who here wrote their own name? Think about it. What is your role on this campus? And there's no wrong answer, so you can start shouting out. What do you feel your role on this campus?
Be a
What?
voice.
Huh?
Be a voice for the students.
To be a voice for the students. I love that. Beautiful. I'll Venmo you later. Just kidding. What else? Voice. Yes.
Problem solvers.
A problem solver. Love that. Right? What else? Yes.
Learn and grow.
A helping hand. Beautiful. I heard something over here.
To learn and grow.
To learn and grow. That's beautiful, right? So the message today that I wanted to tell you all is you all are leaders, right? And when we think of big queens like Eleanor Roosevelt and Trinity Peterson and Ari Limoges and Abraham Lincoln, we think it needs to be this big, grandiose individual that's leading a charge. No, it could be a silent leader like your chief of staff. It could be the behind the scenes leader like Hayden, right? They don't need to be up there and yes, and all this, right? It can be individuals like each and every one of you. Why do you think I'm sharing this message with you today? Yeah. Oh. Anybody? Why do you think today? So as y'all were mentioning your role on campus, you're problem solvers, you're thinkers, you're a voice, you're a helping hand. You were elected to serve. Most importantly, you were elected to serve your constituents. So if you think that you're here because you're expanding yourself and only yourself, you're in here for the wrong reason, right? Don't come after me. I promise there's going to be a good end of story. We're going to have a big hoorah. We're all going to be happy, right? But oftentimes, student leaders say, girl, guess what? I'm going to get on essay. I'm going to put it on my resume. I'm going to do this, go to law school, and then, but I don't really care about those students. But those students elected you. Those students need you to voice for them what it is that they want. Don't forget that you're here to serve the students. And oftentimes we get clouded judgment of, well, Senator so-and-so is trying to come after my bill and I'm going to go after him and now I'm going to go after her, right? You forget why you're here. And that's, you were elected to serve your students, right? So always remember that in leadership, it's going to be tough. It's lonely, but it's the work of service and advocacy. Okay, and so that's what should matter most, serving your students. So, your voice does matter. You're elected to serve your delegation. I'll leave you with this. As a person that has 5 degrees, 5 post-secondary, I'm always called during Hispanic Heritage Month to be like, Dr. Flo, tell us your secret sauce. What did you do? What was it that got you to those 5 degrees? Here's a secret sauce. I didn't do it alone. Okay? I had a tribe. I had a people. I had a group that supported and elevated. I couldn't do it alone. I stand before you as Dr. Flo, but I didn't do it alone. So with that, I leave you saying, be someone's tribe. Elevate those students that elected you. You have a responsibility to those students that are not sitting in your chairs. Okay? Keep that in mind. You are great leaders. You're amazing leaders, but be leaders that are intentional about the work that you do. Okay? Cool? So my final challenge to you is this question. What are you doing? You, not SA, you. What are you doing to elevate and advance your students at SD State? Okay, with that, I'll say thank you all so much for the opportunity. Keep being amazing leaders. Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Jacks.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Flo.
Sticky note, not the one. This
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Dr. Flo. That was great. All right. We're going to move it down our agenda. We'll go to open forum item C now. We're going to student organization reports. So for those of you who don't know, just a little refresher, for all of the student organizations that receive funding through our general budget each spring, they're all required to come present to the Students Association Senate during that year. So you will notice various organizations coming under that umbrella. So tonight we will welcome up University Program Council.
Hello, everyone. As Trinity said, I'm here representing the University Program Council, which I am president of now for the 3rd year, so I am heavily involved with this organization. For those of you who don't know what we do, we put on free and low-cost events for students all year long, utilizing GAF dollars through your GAF allocation process done in February. Every semester, we put on anywhere between 13 to 17 events. This fall, we did 17. We haven't yet decided our spring schedule, but we're looking at anywhere between, again, 13 to 17 events, which are free for students more often than not. With that, we have a wide variety of positions within our board. There are currently 10 of us that make up this board, 2 execs, myself and Alyssa, my vice president over there. We have arts, films and forums, marketing, social awareness, special events, rec and travel, as well as a couple other areas. For events this week, we have free headshot photos happening on Thursday. We just took a trip to Sanderson Gardens over this past weekend. We have also done grocery bingo, if you guys know that event. We work a lot with the Hobo Day Committee during Hobo Week to put on events. This year we have 3. We are doing Jack's Got Talent, the Mulligan Stew Cook-Off, and we'll have our grocery bingo that Friday night. Any questions on UPC and what we do on campus?
Any questions for Emma? Thank you so much. Right. Thank you also for joining us tonight, Emma. All right, moving down to open forum, item D, public comments. Are there any members of the public that wish to address the Senate tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to committee and staff reports, beginning with my own. I have a few things for you, so if you haven't checked your email, then you've been living under a rock, and you should already know that our general activity fee vote is live. So again, we do need a lot of responses to that. So this purpose of this vote is to get student feedback on the reallocation of general activity fee dollars, which we spent 10 months doing last year. So if you haven't taken it already, please do so. Share it with your friends, share it with your other clubs, please share it with teachers, everything like that, because we really need a good response rate if we want to go through with that reallocation. So some things we've been doing, tabling. If you haven't signed up for tabling, I encourage you to do so. I promise you, if you sign up and you're the only one on it, I will make sure you are not, because tabling alone sucks. We also have posters for hanging, so I'll remind you again at the end of the meeting, but we do have posters down in the Students Association office that I've sorted to go to different buildings. So you can come down, grab a stack that goes in your classroom building. We also have posters advertising $2 beta bus rides. So those are all together. So please come down to the office after the meeting tonight and we'll get that for you. Please don't make me run around to 100 different buildings. Thanks. A couple other things, I will email you out after this meeting, a draft email for you to email your professors to ask them to share it with their classes, not only ones that you're in, but other ones as well. I'm working to see if I can do an all staff email as well. But yeah, if you guys could just email your professors, especially if they're good ones and they like you, to share that would be great. Talk at student organization meetings, and I've also sent out a variety of other emails. So yeah, essentially this is gonna be a little bit crazy right now. I know a lot of work for us to push out, but the more people we get to fill it out outside of tabling, the less tabling you all have to do. And I know tabling is not everyone's favorite thing all the time, but if we don't get the response rates we needed, you're gonna have to do it more. So please, please, please send those emails, do all of that. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yeah, GAF is my life. Okay, other things. So Aunt Flo is expanding again. We're looking at implementing it into academic buildings as well as some of the engineering buildings, as Senator Sternhagen brought it up to Joint Engineering Council. So thank you, Grant, our latest ally. We'll be hopefully hearing back from facilities soon on how we can do that. Hayden and I will be meeting with President Dunn on Friday. So if you guys have any topics you would like brought up, please let him or I know, email, text, whatever you need. And then we also completed our Senator at Large orientation last week. So hopefully you all are kind of up to speed. With that, that is the end of my report. We'll go to Vice President Bentz.
Report, Madam President.
Thank you. Chief of Staff Sabo.
Yes, so tonight marks IRC, which is the International Relations Council, and BSA, the Black Student Alliance, third unexcused absence. According to our bylaws, any organization that leaves a seat vacant for a period of 3 consecutive weeks or more shall have representation suspended. I have been in contact with them. I haven't been able to find any ex officios for them. And as I said, this is their 3rd week. So a suspended organization may appeal their suspension with our board of directors if they happen to find ex officios, and then they may be reinstated by a 2/3 majority vote of approval from the board of directors if the board sees fit. End of report.
Thank you. Finance Chair Peters.
Just that we have our finance committee meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Peterson Conference. Report.
Thank you. Government Affairs Chair Kennedy. Communications Chair Fink.
Yes, so just been sending out the RABA report weekly. I went into a website audit / discussion with UMC this past week. That actually went very well. The website will be updated, hopefully updated, and those changes open to the students by the beginning of next semester. So that will come with quite a few changes for me, some work for me to get done, but it'll all be good. It looks great. I've seen a couple mock-ups of it. It looks fantastic. And then we'll be working on sending out a gap communication, mass email like the Rabbit Report. And then I will be going to a Little International meeting and Collegiate Cattlemen's meeting to talk about gap as well. So, end of report.
Thank you. Move on to ex officio reports. We'll begin with Armed Forces Association.
No report.
Thank you. American Indian Student Association.
This coming Monday will be Every Child Matters. They'll be holding a screening at the AIMC at 5 o'clock, and we'll be eating whatever they're serving. I'm not really sure. And then at 6, we'll be doing hand games. And then, yeah, otherwise we're gonna do our regular meeting on Wednesday. So, report.
Thank you. Gender and Sexualities Alliance.
All right, this morning we had a meeting for the speaker fund for our comedian we're having coming out. I wasn't able to attend because I was at classes, but from what I heard, we got quoted a price and we should have enough funds for it. So expect a comedian, I think it's like sometime in October. I'm just scatterbrained at the moment. Classes are going on hard. But that's about it in the report.
Thank you, B. Latin American Student Association.
So today we had a presentation by Dr. Flo about presenting yourself and making your own brand to get companies to recognize you. LASA was also asked by Flandreau Middle School to return on October 4th to do another presentation about Hispanic Heritage Month. Very exciting. This Thursday we're having our weekly meeting, and on Friday we're having a bouncy castle in the green space from noon to 3 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Unified Council.
Most of the fraternities are nearing the end of their recruitment. I know a few chapters have already given out bids, and I will get more on that, on how many are joined by next meeting.
Most of the sororities are doing their COB. However, Chi-O did hit total. Basically, that means they can't recruit because they hit the total number of members allowed on campus. And we believe that has never happened before, so that was exciting. And the other chapters are or one of the other chapters are pretty close to it.
Thank you. That's great news. Very exciting. Go to UPC.
Like Emma said, this Thursday, we have our free headshot event for the student body, and that's going to be held in the Jackrabbit Room in the Breezeway from 2 to 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. We'll go on to advisory reports, beginning with Dr. Schmidt.
No report this week.
Dr. Grieve.
Thank you. Good evening. Just a reminder today, everybody received an email about the mandatory sexual violence prevention training for freshmen, but it's also really highly encouraged for all students. And if you're a student employee, then it is mandatory for you as well. So please check that email. The link will be coming shortly. And the date is October 16th that it needs to be completed by. So thank you very much. The report.
Thank you. Move on to committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report out tonight? Senator Sternhagen.
The Academic Affairs Committee finished hearing the unresolved case from last week. And ultimately, we decided to refer the attendance policies back to University Policies and Procedures Committee due to some discrepancies and loopholes that were discovered during the process of the appeal.
Thank you. Other committees I would like to report out tonight. Okay. Seeing none, do we have any questions for any of the reports tonight? Yes, Advisor Schmidt.
You have a question. If it's not too difficult, can I get a copy of the Rabbit Report sent to me? We don't get it as faculty, but maybe it's too difficult to do that, but I haven't seen it, so.
Yes, we have actually been working with UMC to get you added to that since the first week of school.
That should have been added the first week of school. I will remind them of
Well,
that.
double check, please, because I don't think I missed it, so.
Yes.
But it's possible, I'll check too.
Thank you. Other questions for the reports tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. Item A, commemoration 24-2-C. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please introduce this item?
Of course, Madam President. Commemoration 24-2-C, title of commemoration reads, the SDSU Students Association commemorates September 15th to October 15th, 2024 as Hispanic Heritage Month and encourages students to engage with events commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month. Prime sponsor, Senator Garcia. Sponsors include President Peterson, Finance Chair Peterson, Chief of Staff Staff Sabo, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Communications Chair Fink, Senators Sternhagen, Pulse, Vasquez, Brink, Daget, Schmeck, Dooley, Shell, Derek Comfort, Tennant, Sierra.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full? Seeing none, can I entertain a motion to approve? Senator Garcia.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Senator Garcia, you have the first right to debate.
Yeah, this was a special one for me as a Hispanic student myself. I think it's important that SDSU and Students Association recognizes this month, especially for our SDSU Hispanic students. Even if we make a small percentage of SDSU, I know that they still make a difference on campus, just like any other student. So I hope you can all vote in favor of this.
Any further discussion on this commemoration? Right, seeing none, we'll take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett, Brink,
Aye.
Daget,
Aye.
Derek Comfort, Dooley,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Gibney unexcused, Hofer,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
Campson,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Pulse,
Aye.
Robbins,
Aye.
Shell,
Aye.
Shemek,
Aye.
Sierra,
Aye.
Spear, Sternhagen,
Aye.
Tennant,
Aye.
Vasquez, Wessler,
Aye.
Wisser,
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink,
Aye.
Finance Chair Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and commemoration 24-2-C is approved. Moving on to unfinished business item B, commemoration 24-3-C. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please introduce this item?
Commemoration 24-3-C. Title of commemoration reads, the SDSU Students Association commemorates Ari for her excellent service to the students of SDSU, particularly for her dedication to helping and guiding Latinx and Hispanic students, fostering a supportive and inclusive environment for their success. Prime sponsor, Senator Garcia. Sponsors include President Peterson, Finance Chair Peterson, Chief of Staff Sabo, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Communications Chair Fink, Senators Sternhagen, Pulse, Brink, Daget, Schmeck.
Would anyone request that this item be read in full? It has been requested.
Throw me off my game. Okay. Title of commemoration reads, the SDSU Students Association commemorates Ari for her excellent service to the students of SDSU, particularly for her dedication to helping and guiding Latinx and Hispanic students, fostering a supportive and inclusive environment for their success. Whereas, for over a year, Ari has served the students of South Dakota State University as a multicultural student success advisor for Latinx and Hispanic students within the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Accessibility. And whereas Ari began her professional journey by earning a bachelor's degree in global studies from SDSU and is currently pursuing a Master of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies. And whereas prior to her work in the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Accessibility, Ari was an SDSU admissions counselor where she gained comprehensive knowledge of the entire university. And whereas during her work at South Dakota State University, Ari has aided the Latin American Student Association Club on campus and has strengthened student and faculty relationships within the OMA. And whereas many of the events taking place during Hispanic Heritage Month would not be possible without Ari's leadership and support. Therefore, be it commemorated that the students of South Dakota State University recognize and deeply appreciate the leadership and guidance of Ari, who has been prominent and influential within the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Accessibility.
Thank you, Chief of Staff Sabo. That's perfect. All right, can I entertain a motion to approve this item? Senator Garcia? Senator Garcia, you once again have the first right to debate.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had the pleasure to work with Ari the last 2 years through LASA, which is the club that she advises. She's done so much work for all the Hispanic and Latinx students that she works with and meets with on an everyday basis. And I think it was important to recognize her work during Hispanic Heritage Month. So I hope you can all vote in favor of this.
Any further discussion on this commemoration? Seeing none, we will take this to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Sabo, would you please call the roll?
Senators Barnett, Brink,
Aye.
Daget,
Aye.
Derek Comfort, Dooley,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Gibney abstains, Hofer,
Aye.
Jensen, Campson, Peterson,
Aye.
Pulse, Robbins, Shell, Schmack, Sierra, Spear, Sternhagen, Tennant,
Aye.
Vasquez, Westler, Wisser,
Aye.
Communications Chair Fink, Finance Chair Peterson, Government Affairs Chair Kennedy, Chief of Staff Sabo, aye. Vice President Benz.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and commemoration 24-3-C is approved. Thank you, Ari, so much for all that you do. You can see, if you didn't notice, she is on Zoom with us. So thank you for all your work, Ari. All right, we'll move on to new business. And seeing as we have no new business, we will go straight down to topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion tonight? Senator Sternhagen.
It's already kind of brought up by our President Peterson, but I brought up the period project work that we were doing to the Joint Engineering Council. Afterwards, got so many students and even faculty members that came up to me saying how much they would like if the project would be expanded into academic buildings, that I think would be we'd be wrong to not push to put the project in academic buildings. So I think we should push really hard to make that happen in the remainder of this Senate term.
Thank you, Senator Sternhagen. I wholeheartedly agree. Any other topics for future discussion? Vice President Benz.
I've written a resolution asking students to participate and vote in the 2024 general election. So I will be sending that out to all of you. Feel free to take a look at it and co-sponsor if you would so like to. And then also within that resolution, we'll also ask for Students Association to take an active role in registering students to vote. So it kind of is open-ended within that resolution. But just be thinking maybe how we could best do that, whether or not we open up the SA office, have people come in there, tabling in the union, setting up a table on the campus screen somewhere. So just be thinking about how that might be best done. Maybe with your thoughts and ideas.
Thank you. Other topics for future discussion tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements tonight? Government Affairs Chair Kennedy.
Tonight, Ms. Wall, you're on the student promotion on committee. We're looking for the vote days next week for the applications. And also the Board of Regents is meeting and working next week. I believe it's Sunday. We just reminder you either attend or Board of Regents meeting, so make it to attend.
Thank you. Other announcements? Vice President Benz.
I sent out emails to both the Safety and Security Committee as well as the Senate Diversity Committee with a poll to select what times would be preferential to said committee members to meet. So if you have not done so already, fill out that poll at your earliest convenience. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Other announcements tonight? Okay, I do have a couple myself. Reminder, please come downstairs to grab posters afterwards in the office. That would be appreciated. Sign up for tabling if you have not done so. First Bank and Trust open house from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday, as Athletic Director Sell said. And then additionally, one thing I forgot to share in my report, Vice President Benson and I did receive an update from Vice President Willis today on her health. So I'll just read this email for you all. She said, "Hello. I want to share a quick health update with you that can be shared with SA this evening. My healing is going well and I am feeling better every day. I really appreciated the card last week. I'm looking forward to being back in late October and getting caught up on all that is happening at SDSU. I also wanted to share some new information with you regarding my health. Prior to my surgery, I was having some back pain and my oncology team recommended some imaging to see what was happening. I received the results of the final round of imaging and they have identified a small mass on my right kidney. They're 80% certain it is cancer and that we have caught it early. I met with a urologist last week and we are doing some additional testing to learn a bit more so we know how to proceed. Over the next few weeks, as I learn more, I will share updates. I wanted you to hear about this most recent development from me. I'm doing okay and my family is as well. Once we have a plan of attack, we will all feel even better. Prayers, notes, and good vibes always are welcome as we figure out how to overcome this new challenge in our lives. But overcome it we will, of that I'm confident." So just a little update there for you. So as she said, if you ever want a note or anything, if you feel so called, Dr. Grieve is happy to get that to her. But yeah. Any other announcements? All right. If not, we'll move on to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Senator Daggett. All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.